Hey guys, Jeff here. I got a pretty cool Zoom consult that I did. I don't know if I should say cool, but the dog bit the kid. Now, fortunately, the child was not injured severely. It was a little scrape, so it probably wasn't an all-out intentional bite. But nevertheless, the theme of safety measures with dogs and children I get to immediately in this segment, but we do cover a lot of things. In case you don't watch this, I really got to say this flat out. Uh, no dog and no child should ever be left unsupervised. Okay. And again, fortunately, in this particular situation, the child was not injured badly, thank God. But I can tell you, 100% of the time, when a dog bites a child and no one is there to supervise or witness it, we never know what happened. And while I don't condone, aggressive behavior by dogs, as it relates to children or humans, etc., supervision is the single most important aspect, not just with dogs, but even if you have cats, cats that are not declawed, your pets and your baby should be supervised at all times. So anyway, I'll shut up. It's a pretty cool segment. Take a peek. And don't forget, if you like my channel, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, take a peek around. Leave some comments below, give me some feedback. Any content that you'd like to see me upload, let me know. So I'll shut up, take a peek. All right, so how old is Coco again?
She is, I guess she's almost 3.
Okay. All right. First and
Of course, we
foremost,
just kind of estimate her age, but
right.
we're saying she's about 3.
Okay. How is your daughter?
She's okay.
Okay.
I mean, it appears to be. I mean, my wife and I were in the other room, but it appears to be like maybe Coco's mouth was just open and she turned, and then it was more kind of like a scrape as opposed to a bite. So she had kind of 2 scrape marks here, and then more kind of a puncture on her nose, and then scrape here. But I think Coco's head hit her, and which caused her nose to bleed. So,
right.
But she seems to be okay, and
right.
she's not shy of Coco, which is good. She's not
good.
thrown off of dogs. So
right. Yeah, and I mean, and not to minimize what happened, but what you described is exactly what it sounds like happened. That it's possible, like Coco just kind of turned, and it was just kind of the perfect storm, so to speak.
Yeah, and I did. So she was very reluctant to tell us. My wife and I were in the next room, so she was reluctant to tell us what happened. I mean, she's only 3 years old, but our other daughter kind of got more information out of her, and what we can piece together is we think Coco was our daughter's name's Sadie. She's always cuddled with Coco. She like likes to lie on the floor with her, lie in the sun. So it's something that she's done for the entire year that we've had her. So we didn't really think twice of it. But what I think may have happened was Coco was either resting or sleeping, and I think Sadie came up behind her and kind of like put her arms around her from behind and gave her kind of a big squeeze hug. So I don't know if there's a couple things here. Like, we obviously don't want Coco to react that way, but we also have been talking to our daughter about what's appropriate to be able to do with Coco, and kind of startling her or whatever, or squeezing her too hard is not appropriate either.
How old is your other daughter?
She is 11.
And she was in the room when it happened?
She was basically in the room, but she said she didn't see what happened, so she wasn't paying attention.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so
it's kind of like an open concept house, so it's like.
Right. Okay. So we'll start with the obvious, and this is not unique to your situation or Coco. No children should be left unsupervised with any dog.
Yeah.
So that's, I know that, especially now, but I got to cross my T's and dot my I's.
Yeah, and I mean, we know that in reality, sometimes it becomes a little harder. I think we need to, manage what we were doing before. Maybe we let our guard down after a year and have kind of let Coco just wander around where she wants to go and stuff. Usually she'll follow me around, but certainly sometimes she kind of will leave. But I think we I appreciate your message. We need to be on top of it more.
Right. And again, not minimizing what happened, but if she she likes to, I mean, I know I've cuddled with my dogs and like they kind of whipped around to give me a kiss.
Yeah.
and I got hit with their teeth.
Yeah.
It's quite possible that that's all that happened. Now, obviously,
Well, no, there was definitely like barking and like it was, kind of, it was a, it was not just kind of a head whip around. It was like snarling.
oh, so there was commotion and vocal communication then.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it sounded
Okay.
like she was fighting with our other dog. And
Okay.
then I heard Sadie crying from the other room. So
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So there was a little more to it than just a whip around then.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Right. Okay. So, yeah, and I mean, toddlers 3 years old and up are generally, advanced enough to be able to communicate with them on how to interact.
yeah,
But they are still toddlers. So, you know, especially if you have data at your disposal, right? A year's worth of data of your daughter cuddling with her without incident, right?
yeah,
And then something happens, obviously it causes us to pause a little bit. But
yeah,
managing interactions, especially, we'll get to your 12-year-old boxer in a minute because I know there's some conflict there as well.
yeah,
But especially because of that, it's important that we pay a little more closer attention. And if we can't supervise their interactions, we have to take action accordingly, whether Coco has to be put in a crate or something.
yeah.
Again, that's the obvious. Now, after it happened, was there any residual or was it over?
It was over, and Coco was definitely,
Remorseful?
yeah, she knew she messed up. I mean, she went and hid under the table, and then
Right.
we put her outside. She was hiding under our like picnic table outside.
Mhm.
She definitely didn't want to make eye contact with me. And then, when I went out to see her, she kind of just like rolled into a completely submissive position, like on her back.
Right.
So she definitely, you know, it's not like Sadie was just sitting there and Coco decided, oh, I'm gonna get up and go attack her.
Oh, right, of
So
course, yeah. It
there was
was
something going on. And
reactionary.
she
Right.
definitely knew that
Yeah.
that she had messed up.
Right. And so as it relates to your daughter and Coco, your youngest, how is Coco like taking treats and stuff? Is she gentle taking treats?
Yeah, I mean our 3-year-old, she'll feed her treats. She'll she makes Coco sit down. Coco listens to her, and then she'll kind of give her treats. I think Coco, she doesn't snap to get treats, but I think it's maybe a little bit more quick than what our 3-year-old likes. So she usually just puts them on the ground
Okay.
when Coco sits down.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, she's not like, bit her hand or anything like
Right.
that
Okay.
going for treats.
Yeah. So, and I mean, obviously, kids love giving dogs treats. If you guys could maybe set some time aside, like literally like 30 seconds or 60 seconds every day, and just do like some sits and downs with Coco, with your
Okay.
daughter being the provider of the treats. Obviously, you're there to supervise. And if putting the treats on the ground, if that's how you want that interaction to go, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
As long as Coco learns, she has to wait till your daughter puts the treat on the ground. We don't want Coco going for the treat, right?
Okay.
She has to learn some impulse control in those situations, and make that like a kind of a fun game where Coco's working for you, but your daughter is providing the reward kind of thing.
Okay. And
Now,
we haven't been doing that with the treats so much, but we've been doing it with her meal time, where like
good.
we'll put the food down and myself and my daughter will be there and we make Coco sit and then just tell her like okay, and she can't eat until we kind of say okay, and so she definitely gets excited around. She's highly food motivated, so
Yeah.
um,
So am I. No.
exactly.
Yeah,
Who
and
isn't?
that's good. So add a little training session to
Okay.
what you're currently doing. And it doesn't have to be scheduled like 1 p.m. every day. Just,
Yeah.
I mean, you got 2 kids, you guys are working. I'm sure you got a busy life. Just
Yeah.
kind of manufacture a minute here.
Well, yeah. We actually have 5 kids, but
Oh
that's
gosh, okay.
yeah.
God bless
But
you.
the other kids are older, so
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so just kind of manufacture, a minute or two.
Yeah.
And I would say, with the training sessions, avoid like play training, which I'm a huge fan of play training, but as it relates to your youngest daughter and Coco, we want it to be more of a controlled, lower stimulation interaction.
Okay.
Because as friendly as play is, we don't want to have any association with overstimulation and your daughter. We want it to
Sure.
be more of like a controlled, deliberate approach and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So, and again, I'm not minimizing it, but fortunately, you know, it was relatively uh, benign, if you will. Obviously, a few scrapes, and your daughter
Yeah.
doesn't have any residual emotional effects, which is really good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. I
know,
mean, yeah, she still calls her my precious Coco and
right?
wants to go,
Yeah,
hang out with her and stuff. So, I mean, it's definitely, there's two components to it. Like we want Coco just to not react that way, but then we also, have to have, uh, our daughter take care as well in terms of, how she interacts with Coco.
yeah, and that's the challenging part of assessing these situations when we don't really know what happened. And again, not justifying Coco's behavior, but if she was sleeping and your daughter kind of plopped on her rib cage or
Yeah.
something, I mean, we can guess and we'll never know.
Yeah.
But fortunately, your daughter is 3, certainly capable of learning from what happened. Obviously, we're going to supervise interactions a little more closely so we can
Yeah.
not just observe Coco, but observe your daughter so she understands what's acceptable and what isn't.
Yeah.
Things along those lines. So I think, and fortunately, your energy is pretty good. Your daughter is over it, it seems, which is
Yeah.
half the battle, because a lot of times when these things happen, the children are so like apprehensive, it causes actual stress going forward with the
Yeah.
interactions. But it sounds like you're not dealing with that.
No.
Good, beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, she wants to like kiss Coco on the lips and stuff, and I'm like, let's put a pause on that for a minute.
One step at a time.
We're going faster than I'm prepared for.
So tell me about your 12-year-old boxer.
So I mean, she's 12. She's pretty, at this point, she's very elderly. I mean, she's, what you'd expect a 12-year-old boxer to be like. I mean, she sleeps for most of the day. She's very, she's pretty mellow. Her hearing is pretty rough. It's starting to go. I think she has some cataracts, or vision isn't really that great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so we had a pit bull before, and so we had our pit bull first, and so she was kind of, the dog that we tried to be the whatever in the pack, the alpha dog. So we would feed her first, and then we would feed Nava, our boxer dog, second. And now we obviously kind of reverse the role with Nava and Coco. So Nava will eat first, and then Coco eats after. I mean, she's pretty low energy dog at this point. She's always been kind of a low energy dog.
Okay.
The incidents that we saw between them. I mean, when we introduced them to, when we brought Coco home, we went to a park that's by our house. We didn't introduce them at home, waited for them to kind of calm down and kind of, run around and greet each other. And then we walked them both home to our house once they'd kind of calmed down. And, they got along great for probably 6 to 8 months or so. And then, we would be, I kind of thought some triggers were around dinner or around mealtime, because that's when it seemed to happen. Was they would be sitting kind of waiting for food to be prepared. And of course Nava's a little more mellow, but Coco is very kind of hyper around dinner time, and kind of she tries to sit but then gets antsy and then stands up and then sits again. And she sits in like 5 different positions, thinking that one of them is going to be like the trigger for you to hurry up and give her food, kind of thing. So and then they'd be sitting in there, and then all of a sudden there would be some kind of barking and snarling with each other. A few times it happened, I think, because Nava is just not really self-aware, and I think she just kind of stepped on Coco, and then there was some kind of back and forth between the two of them. Then it just kept occurring more and more. So we decided, okay, when we're going to prepare their food, Nava, our older dog, either goes into another room or goes outside on our deck, and then that's where she gets fed, and then Coco's kind of fed in a separate room. And then kind of when they're done dinner, then that's fine. There's no fighting. Then it's kind of like not well, I guess it has escalated because there was a couple incidents where my wife said that she saw Coco kind of like almost stalking Nava. She's outside in the yard and trying to come up to come inside. And she said Coco was clearly kind of hiding behind the picnic table. And then when Nava got close, just kind of like ran at her and started barking and snarling at her. It definitely wasn't playful, she said, but it's not something that kind of happens all the time. We've we've taken Coco over to my aunt's house, who has two big golden retriever dogs, and she gets along with them. I mean, they play kind of you know how young dogs play, I guess, together outside. But then we tried to take Coco over to our sister-in-law's house, who had a German Shepherd, and it was just that was a no go. I mean, they were eyeing each other. Coco started growling like from the car as soon as we pulled into the driveway. So, um,
Okay, so the golden retrievers, are they males or females?
they're both males.
And the shepherd
Is a male.
is a male also.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you pulled up to the shepherd's house, was the shepherd outside already?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Coco is she's very much like a guard dog. She's very protective of like the house, and she'll look outside the window, and if she sees people walking by, she's barking. If she's in the backyard, hears people walking, she barks. Usually when she's outside of like the house, she's a bit more mellow. She's not protective of it, so it was a little.
Yeah, houses, cars, even a lot of dogs have car territoriality issues.
Yeah. So and I didn't know if it was kind of a dominance thing, because I think with our other pit bull, she was very mellow with dogs, unless a dog tried to be completely dominant, and then she was not having it. So I don't know if that was kind of the case with the German Shepherd. Again, I'm reading between the lines based on what my wife said, because I wasn't actually there.
Right.
But anyway, that's probably more information than you wanted.
No, yeah, I mean I mean, a shepherd with a strange dog coming up to, I mean, it's possible the shepherd postured a little bit and Coco was like, oh hell no. And then being in the car in a confined space could have intensified her emotions a little bit. But I mean, fortunately she does have doggy friends, which is good, especially at this stage of her life, because she's entering that maturation process now where, a lot of what potentially was maybe some yappiness a year ago is now going to develop into more confident communication.
Okay.
Which again, with it, same-sex household is something more of a pressing concern for you to monitor, obviously.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know you, but I'm guessing having harmony in your household is a hell of a lot more important than a German Shepherd that you don't like.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't care about going up to my sister-in-law's house, to be honest. So we don't need to solve that problem.
Right, exactly. So, obviously feeding them separate is important. Any kind of stimulated event, if you will, is something that you need to monitor, especially with same-sex conflict. Even though your boxer is old now, you still have two females. I would suggest, continuing managing that feeding.
Okay.
Are there any issues with toys or places where they sleep, or conflict over anything like that?
No, our boxer is not really interested in toys at all.
Good.
And Coco definitely is.
Okay.
So Coco has her own kind of like bucket that she just goes and gets toys in our boxer. I mean, occasionally Coco will get a new toy that then our boxer just wants to kind of take, and there's no really fight over it. I mean, they'll kind of just wait, and Coco will usually wait until she's done with it, because I think she knows like she's going to lose interest in 10 minutes for this toy, and then Coco takes it.
Okay. All right, good. So that makes things a lot easier. Sometimes resource guarding and resource conflict has it's not just with food, it could be just about anything. How about with people? Do they vie for position, for affection at all?
Our boxer does not. She could really kind of care less, to be honest.
Okay.
Coco is definitely she likes to hang around me the most, I think, compared to everybody else. I mean, if I get up and go to another room, she'll follow me around.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting down, she definitely kind of will pay attention to what I'm doing first over everybody else. But she uh, I think she gets excited. I mean, we have a older girl who has gone off to university, and Coco is definitely happy when she comes home, or if the kids are away for a sleepover or extended period of time. She's definitely very happy when they come home.
Hmm.
So it's not an individual thing, but I think she does definitely kind of fixate on me and where I'm going most of the time.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Okay. And then, are they yard dogs, or do you walk Coco at all, or?
Oh yeah, we walk Coco. We need to do it more. We used to do it every day. Now it's probably 4 times a week.
Okay.
In the mornings, and then we didn't have a fenced in yard, but we just put a fence in. And so they have a big backyard to run around in as well, because we felt the walks were good, but also Coco, would benefit from just some open yard space and running around.
Yeah, tearing ass is certainly helpful to burn
Yeah,
some of that energy.
yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. So now, does your daughter, your 3-year-old, come on walks with you at any time?
She did not. Our 11-year-old did.
Okay. If possible, regardless of how many walks you take
Okay.
Coco on, if your daughter could be involved in, a walk or two here and there, even if you're just taking like a quick quarter-mile stroll or something,
Yeah.
that would be helpful just for relationship building to
Okay.
continue. It sounds like they have a great relationship aside from this one-off incident,
Yeah.
but again, just to do something a little more that might help continue
Okay.
to their
Yeah. Our,
relationship.
our our daughter definitely likes to go for walks, so we
Okay.
can. I don't think that would be an issue.
Awesome. Good. I'm the 12-year-old boxer. I'm sure you don't take her for
Yeah.
walks now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
She'll. We took her one time hiking, and I thought she was gonna have a heart attack. So.
yeah. And, if your boxer was like 8 or 9, we might be having a different conversation, but I tend to be very assertive in my approach with dog training. When it comes to geriatric dogs, I turn into a big mush, and
Yeah.
like I feel bad because I know their time with us is short. So
Yeah.
I'm hesitant to recommend anything with your boxer. Just manage, keep her safe and comfortable and as happy as possible.
Yeah. We used to try to when we first got Coco, we took them both out, and then our boxer it would be kind of a decline, and a couple times we were halfway into the walk, and we're like, I might have to carry her home.
Yeah.
He
So
just
just,
kind of puts on the brakes and is
yeah,
like, no, I'm not going anymore. So
yeah. So, just manage that, keep her as happy as possible.
okay.
Do a little bit of work with your daughter, obviously at a walk whenever you can. Now you did mention, and Tony shared an email, you mentioned you might be going to see an in-person trainer.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you as well. Like, kind of, so obviously with the, you know, kind of the dog aggression issues, if she would benefit from some kind of training. We had, contacted someone who said, they wouldn't recommend kind of class-based training, that they would just do kind of one-on-one training initially with Coco, just based on, to assess kind of how she interacts with other dogs, etc. But I guess, I with I guess I just want to get your opinion on, whether or not you think that she would benefit from, because I kind of go round and round in my head. I think, well, maybe she would benefit from class-based training just because there's other dogs and stimuli around, and she has to kind of pay attention to what's going on. Or I also don't know if that would just kind of be too much at this point.
Yeah. So, this is one of the hard things about doing these virtual consults when I don't know the dogs involved.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm talking to you, but I don't know you. I don't know your handling. I don't know your environment. I can tell you that you might want to consider having at least one in-home training session.
Okay.
Because then you have, you got a professional coming in, they can assess everything.
Yeah.
They can see how the dogs are interacting. There might be subtle signs of Coco initiating conflict with your boxer that isn't even noticed, right?
Yeah.
And not that that's cause for concern, but something where they could point out, okay, this might be an issue, this might be an issue. I would say at minimum, if you have a local trainer, get them into your house, just at least you get an initial assessment. They can
Okay.
kind of, especially with Coco and what happened with your daughter, they'll have a better idea, right? I'm just going off of what you're telling me, what happened, right? And so,
Okay.
and keep in mind too, like, dog trainers, we're like mechanics. Like we don't get cars that are in great working condition, right?
Yeah.
we're always getting dogs that need work, right?
Sure.
So when I hear an incident like this, it sucks, but it's not what we're used to hearing as far as dog and child conflict, right?
Okay.
Fortunately, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
God willing, this
Exactly.
is a one-off.
Well,
We
yeah,
learn.
and that's why we reached out, because we want this to be like the end of it, basically.
Right, exactly. And that's why I think, and I'm not opposed to training classes, but based on what you're telling me about your lifestyle, and you're not going to be taking Coco to dog parks, right? I mean,
Yeah, no, not
are you
really.
going to be taking her to carnivals and street fairs?
Yeah, no.
Right. So I would say, we stubbed our toe. Let's deal with the throbbing big toe. Get a trainer in the house to assess
Okay.
that, because that's the pressing need.
Okay.
That would be my mentality, and that
And
would be.
you would recommend somebody to come here, because the one that I contacted, I think was it was like a personal trainer, but we take them there. We would take. Okay, it's better for here,
Yeah, I mean, if you
just
need
to assess the
training,
environment.
if you
Yeah.
need training and socialization, yeah, that's great. But you had an incident in a specific environment,
Okay.
right? So I mean, dogs are a lot like us in that they're products of their environment, right?
Yeah.
Now you have a really loving home, your dogs are getting adequate exercise and stimulation and companion, like everything's going well. You had this incident. It
Yeah.
happened. It didn't happen on a walk. It didn't happen somewhere else. It happened in your house, right?
Yeah.
So that's where if let's say you were local to me, I would say, look, I need to come see, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I would recommend for you, if you can get the trainer
Okay.
or whoever to. Where are you located?
In Acton, Massachusetts, kind of close to Boston. Like.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, if you have a hard time finding somebody, I guess Tony could probably recommend, but you could always
Okay.
shoot me a text. But yeah, get them in home to do
Okay.
at least one in-home private session.
Okay.
Because they may see things that we're not even talking about.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we'll reach out to somebody, because I honestly asked our vet, who gave us the name of a lady who then said she's not doing in-home anymore, and then she said she was going to text us the names of some people, but then I texted her a few times and she just has ghosted me, apparently.
Oh gosh.
So then I just started, basically going on the internet and calling some random places, which is, kind of hit or miss. So
yeah. So there's a website. It's International Association of Canine Professionals.
Okay.
I think the website is canineprofessionals.com.
Okay.
Plural. CANINE. Spell out canine. Canineprofessionals.com. They have a trainer search.
Okay.
That's an organization I belong to as well. And also, if you find a trainer or something that you're thinking about hiring, I'd be happy to talk to them if you needed like someone to screen them for you or something.
Okay.
But basically, you want to ask them if they subscribe to operant conditioning training.
Okay.
That's really what you're looking for.
Okay.
If they don't know what that is, it's not the trainer for you.
Okay.
And basically that's just, they have a psychological approach to dog training and behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but again, if you're having a hard time, just reach out to me and I'll
No,
help you.
I appreciate it. And I like the idea of having somebody come here, because like I said, we'll take Coco out, and then she's, potentially can be a different dog than at home. So.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. So do you have any other questions or anything?
No, I don't think so. I think we've, kind of, what you said at the beginning is kind of what we've been doing, is just kind of managing the interactions between Coco and our daughter more. And when it's, she can't be directly supervised, then, she kind of chills out in her crate, as opposed to before, where we kind of just let her have more free roam than probably what we should have.
And it's only temporary, right? This isn't going to be the rest of her life. A year from now, your daughter is literally going to be a different human being. Their relationship is going to be 1 year more solidified. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then, if anything pops up, you have my cell. You could shoot me a
Okay.
text if it's a quickie. If you want to have a chat about something, just give me a call.
Okay. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, Phil. All right. It was nice
Okay.
talking to you.
No, it was great talking to you. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a great night.
All right.
Great
You too.
day.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.